It is a very curious thing when you think about the first people who came up with the idea of bread. It was a gradual process, of course, and but how they found out that by mixing flour and water together, kneading it for a bit, and exposing it to the heat, they can achieve something edible. Something so important and valuable. Flour, water, and salt, because in the end, it needs to taste good.
So making bread is part of Sri Lankan culture. It became a culture during food crisis in the 70s and 60s. So pretty much, we didn't have anything else or any of these food items what we have these days. But it was pretty much flour and jackfruit. So we decided to find ways to make bread which food is sustainable and that fills you with a small amount. So that's how it came up, the flat bread, which looks flat and small, but it's really heavy. It fills your stomach really fast.
I remember hearing from my grandparents that you should never step on a piece of bread. Never, ever. Otherwise, you'll need to explain yourself in your next life.
I remember in my childhood, like my mom, when we were not financially not stable enough, my mom used to make this food a lot with jackfruit, which I really love. So I make bread now just to revisit those memories. Whenever I make bread, I just go back to those memories. It's nice memories, especially when you're alone here. It's nice to go back to those old memories and think about the old stuff. So that's why I make bread often.
One time we were in the yard playing with my cousins, and I think we were given some kind of sandwich or some kind of snack. One of my cousins, he didn't finish his and threw the rest of the bread on the ground. I asked him to put it aside so that nobody would accidentally step on it. But well, he was a naughty kid. And he probably didn't care, so he did exactly the opposite. So he started jumping on the bread and smashing it under his feet. I felt so bad. I tried to stop him, but he kept jumping up and down. I don't remember, but maybe I stopped playing with him because I was just so mad at him.
So how I learned to make bread, it's with my mom, mostly by watching, but sometimes she let us mix the dough. So the consistency, she tells us how much water we need to put, how much salt, everything, and then mix and comes to a good round, softened dough. Then the bread she makes. So she never taught us how to make. We just know the process, and then it's all by just watching and learning by yourself.
I do bake bread sometimes, but I make it for another reason. It's not like I fancy a sandwich and I bake pita bread or ciabatta. Maybe because now it is a different action to go buy bread. These days, you just go to the shop and pick up a loaf. Whereas growing up, I remember we would go to the specific bakery to pick up the type of bread you have in mind. Each type of bread had its own bakery. And you would normally buy a few because it's not really convenient to go to the bakery every single day. It doesn't happen. Love. Love. And you would also buy one extra bread at any rate, because once it's out of the oven, it is so fresh and tasty that you would snack on half of it on the way back home.